And welcome to the BBQn Sports Podcast, where we talk all things Kansas City sports, barbecue, beer, and more. This is Jason Weaver with my co-host Kelsey Moore as we lead you off into the next inning. All right, welcome back to the BBQn Sports Podcast. Another sour week, terrible loss from the Chiefs. Only putting up 3 points against the Titans. 3 more turnovers. It's not looking good. We'll talk a little Chiefs football and then do our beer review. Kelsey, you want to kick us off with your recap of the game?
Yeah, Nick Bolton leads the league in tackle, or is tied for the league in tackles for loss this season. Also leading the Chiefs in tackles, leading all rookies in tackles. That's all I really want to talk about.
Man, staying very positive.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Defense is terrible. We already knew that. I will say the bright spot is I think we have a linebacker that we haven't seen, and I'm not saying he is Derek Johnson, but a linebacker that can play the run that we haven't seen as well since Derek Johnson. Now, he does need to learn how to cover people. He's terrible in coverage. He won't be a 3-down backer for the foreseeable future because he can't cover anybody. But we haven't had a linebacker who's good against the run in a long time. So that's one bright spot from what we've seen from the Chiefs this year. Nick Bolton has been good against the run. Now, there are no other bright spots. The defense is piss poor. We already knew that. Terrible. I don't want to watch another team run up and down the field again against us. Like, I'm tired of seeing it this year. It's awful. The thing that bothers me is the offense. Okay, so I saw a stat today. I don't know who listens to us that looks at total expected points added and total win percentage added. I'm not really a huge next gen, I'm not huge into next gen sports, but I do look at EPA a lot because I think it gives you a little more value than just saying Mahomes threw for 400 yards. Like, what does Mahomes actually add? That's kind of what this stat looks at. So this is actually for our turnovers. I think it said the league average was for total expected points added. The league average, I want to say, was like negative 43. That's the cost of the turnovers for their offense this year. The Chiefs are at 87. The Chiefs literally, there's nobody else over 57. The Patriots are at 57. So literally, we have lost 87 points according to this statistic in 7 weeks because of turnovers. That's insane.
Yeah, I definitely think. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I definitely think that our offense would definitely be much better. I don't even think we'd have 4 losses if we weren't turning the ball over this much. I mean, I think that's pretty.
No way. The Chargers and Ravens game, we would have won if we wouldn't have turned the ball over so much. There's 2 games we definitely would have won if we hadn't turned the ball over so much. And other games would have went differently. That Bills game would have been much differently if we... Well, first of all, the Bills game, they get a screen from their own 4-yard line. The game would have been much differently if we would have stopped them on the second drive on their own 4-yard line. They had to punish the ball. But turnovers have killed us. And the offense, our defense is bad, like we said over and over and over this year. But this team is built for the offense to win games, and the offense isn't doing it. So, I mean, yeah, you can blame the defense all you want, but this team is built with playmakers all over the offense. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes are all in the conversation for being the best at their position. The interior offensive line has been good. The tackles have been bad, but the interior offensive line has been good, which has given us the ability to run the ball some when we've actually done it. Like, it baffles me how uncharacteristically bad we've been on offense. Bad decisions, bad turnovers, bad drops, just stuff that shouldn't happen to a team like this.
So obviously, yeah, I definitely think we need to establish a run game. But I do have another stat for you right now. Okay, so only one time in the game against the Titans was Patrick Mahomes blitzed when he dropped back. Only one time. 30 of his 33 total picks for his career are when nobody blitzed. So I think, obviously, I think teams are kind of figuring out that if you drop everybody back and and put him in coverage, you got to put him in a tight spot, and he's more susceptible to those picks and turnovers. And I mean, let's just be honest.
I agree.
That stat right there tells you right now that we got to establish a run game. We got to try to run the ball, because if they're going to do that, I mean, I don't know what more you could do.
I think I haven't really talked about it a lot on this podcast, but I mean, I know I've said it to you before. The recipe for beating the Chiefs is blitzing 4 and dropping 7 guys into coverage. That being said, there is a caveat to that stat. You have to go get pressure with 4. Our tackles have been bad, and Mahomes is not good at stepping up in the pocket. It's been a disaster this year,
Yeah,
and that's why everybody is getting to us blitzing 4, because our tackles, Orlando Brown isn't going to move. Like, he's a big, huge dude. He isn't going to move very much. So what he's trying to do is keep the guy to the outside. So he's basically pushing the guy to the outside, and hope that Mahomes will step up in the pocket. Mahomes doesn't step up in the pocket very much, and it's the nature of his game. Like, that's what he does, but he's got to figure out how to step up in the pocket.
Yeah, he's most successful outside the pocket. I mean, that's pretty obvious. So that's definitely not his game to be in the pocket. So they got to figure something else out there.
I mean, this year I don't think there is another option. Orlando Brown is our left tackle, so he's got to learn how to step up in the pocket some, or take some of those dump offs that people are giving us at times. Quit trying to go for home run balls so much. We've got to establish some kind of a run game, like you already said. And yes, we are armchair coaches here. Like, we're just sitting on our couch being coaches right now. But these are things that they should be happening. Like, I mean, it's not really hard to figure out where our struggles have come from this year. It's not some big mystery.
Well,
it's obvious what's going on.
You know, typically Andy Reid, he's really good about, you know, when a team's got us figured out, he's on the drawing board trying to figure out how to beat it. And I don't know what's going on right now, but I think there has to be something else going on with the coaching staff that we don't know that's causing some issues.
So to that point, we played seven games, 4 losses against teams that are in the playoffs right now. 4 good teams. I think Andy Reid will, by week 17 or week 18, will have us in the spot we need to be. But the problem is, our schedule doesn't get easier. We have the toughest schedule remaining in the rest of the season. Will it be enough? Will we figure it out? We have Raiders twice, Chargers once, Broncos twice, Cowboys, Packers.
We had a very hard schedule before the first game, you know. So compared to some other teams, but now, you know, you look at the Bengals game and how they're playing. Well, that's not an automatic win anymore. You know what I mean? So that's going to be probably a good game.
This year, we actually are probably going to finish with probably a top 3 most difficult schedule win percentage when the season's over, I would assume. Unless the Broncos just keep losing and only won 3 wins, and the Raiders start losing. Unless teams just start losing, we're definitely going to be one of the top few.
I think the win percentage was 621. I think right now
for the remaining schedule. Yeah, that's our remaining schedule.
That's the remaining of the schedule. We've
already played the Chargers, the Browns, the Ravens.
It's not counting the 4 playoff teams we already played. So yeah, it's not looking any brighter there. You did say you think Andy Reid's going to have us in the right position. Are you still calling this the playoff team?
I mean, so I've been a Chiefs fan since I can remember. I was watching games when I was 7 years old at my grandma's house. Rather it be back. I mean, I remember watching Elvis Gerbach play, and I was young when Elvis Gerbach was playing. Everything changed that day. We were in Springfield. We celebrated it, but we didn't know what we were celebrating. The day that we signed Andy Reid, everything changed in Kansas City. Just think back to the few years before Andy Reid was in.
I got chills thinking about that day right now.
Yeah, we were celebrating so hard that day when we signed Andy Reid, but we didn't even realize what we were in for. Like, it's better than we could have ever imagined. Everything changed in Kansas City that day. Whether people want to admit it right now or not, everything changed when we signed Andy Reid. We went from the doghouse of a team. I think we won 8 games the 3 years before he came to Kansas City. But if you go back even further than that, if you go back like 8 years, we made the playoffs like 1 time and won like it was a horrible stretch. Let's just put it that way. We were not a good team. The misfortune that's been in Kansas City, for the last 50 years around the football team, since I can remember for the last 20 plus years, 23, 4 years, whatever I've watched Kansas City, it's been brutal. Andy Reid changed that. Like, it all changed then. I have the utmost faith in Andy Reid. And with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, you have to believe things are going to change. Like, I remember in, what was it, 2000, it was like his second or third year here when Jamal Charles went down and we started the season 1-4 and we still made the playoffs. We still won the division.
Yeah, how many
Like, I
games in a
have
row did we
faith
win
in Andy
after
Reid to
that?
figure that out. What'd you say?
How many games in a row did we win after that?
I didn't think we lost again until in the playoffs.
We won out, yeah, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
my point.
I think we agree. I have faith in this team to figure it out. I do. It just seems like, I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. It just seems like we're betting our head against a wall right now. And we just can't get around the wall. There's a way around the wall, but we can't figure it out.
Well, the only way we're going to fix the defensive schemes that we're going against is if we establish a run game. So that's got to be first and foremost on Andy Reid's plate, in my opinion. But would you be surprised in 4 weeks if we're 7-4? I mean, I wouldn't. We still have the potent offense. We still have an offense that can do it. We still have defensive players that can play. Whether or not they show up, Frank Clark, we pack his bags, get him out of here.
Yeah, but he's not coming back to Kansas City after this year.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in 4 weeks we're talking a lot different. I mean, hey, Vegas even has us beating the Packers.
Yeah, 2.5-point favorites against them or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought that? I heard that today and I couldn't believe it.
I don't know. I mean, would I be surprised? Yes, a little, but also would I be surprised? No. I mean, I think it can happen. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, and what's frustrating is 2 weeks ago we destroyed Washington, and we thought that was going to be the thing that propelled us, And then what do? We come out and lose to Tennessee 28-3. I mean, it's like we're right back where we were before 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I do think they can right the ship. So no, I wouldn't be surprised if we were 7-4 in a few weeks. But they've got. I mean, I don't even know that you have to fix the defense. To be honest, just the offense has to quit turning the ball over. If the offense quits turning the ball over, we will win games. Yeah. Will we be a Super Bowl contender? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But we will win games and we will compete with everyone if the offense doesn't turn the ball over.
I mean, I said like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago we weren't gonna turn the ball over 37 times, and
we still look like we might.
I think I jinxed us. I think that's my fault. I want to take the blame.
If anybody can be jinxed, it's the Chiefs. We should know from the 50 years before these last two.
So, assuming we don't get this thing turned around, who's at fault here? I mean, is it Veach? Is it Bieniemy? Is it Spags? Is it Reed? Like, who's going to take the downfall here?
I mean, who's at fault with the talent we have? It's the players on the field. Like, but
so Veach?
who's gonna? No. I'm not saying that we have bad players. I'm saying we have good players.
Okay.
And they should be performing better. Okay. With the talent we have, we should. There's nobody in their right mind who thinks the Chiefs shouldn't be better than 3-4 right now. That being said, it's gonna fall on Spags if nothing gets turned around because of how ineptly bad the defense is. It's not the defense is struggling. The defense is just bad.
Well, and obviously he's not motivating the players to play. I mean, Frank Clark on the sidelines laughing on the bench.
Yeah.
I mean,
when you're down by that much, I mean, yeah, it's frustrating to see, but also what's he supposed to do? Sit over there and cry? I mean, like,
yes. Yeah.
No.
He needs to be
that's not how it's going to work.
Pushing the Gatorade jug over and kicking the bench. I mean,
what's frustrating to me about the defense is already bad enough. But when we have guys like Ben Neiman on the field and Dan Sorensen on the field, when everybody knows they shouldn't be on the field, like, I don't know why we keep. I said this out at the beginning of the season. Ben Neiman's been our dime linebacker for 4 years, and hasn't deflected a single pass in his career, and that's still true to this day. Like, how is he your dime linebacker? I don't understand. And the D-line, don't even get me started on the D-line. But the main thing with Spags is we run this basic 4-3 scheme where our run defense has gotten better because of Bolton. But before Nick Bolton started playing better, the whole scheme evolves around the linemen picking up, basically being decoys to get blocked, and the linebackers filling the gaps. And we didn't have a single linebacker who could fill the gap. So why are we still doing this? Like, why are we just beating our head against the wall, letting people run the ball down our throat? Running backs wouldn't get touched till 3 yards down the field because our linebackers couldn't get to the gap. So I don't know. I mean, Spags, he's always been a good D coordinator everywhere he's went, but I think some of his vulnerabilities are really showing this year with this team, and it's because of a lack of talent. Honestly, our D line and our linebackers, our DBs are not good, but they're capable. Our D line and our linebackers are.
So you're talking about our lack of talent, okay? And obviously we've got some good players, but this falls on Brett Veach then, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, the Frank Clark contract is the one.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's the first thing you look at is what was he doing with Frank Clark?
But what else? I mean, but what else good defensively? I mean, we can talk about re-signing Travis Kelce. That was good. The Mahomes, obviously, signing him is good. He's had a couple steals in the draft, but overall, I mean, you take away the steals in the draft, and who's he really got?
Well, that's what a GM's supposed to do is get steals in the draft.
Yeah, but
I would say your job.
But your high draft picks need to be good too.
Well, we don't have a lot of high draft picks. I don't know if you've noticed, but we've won the Super Bowl and going to the Super Bowl.
So we spent a pick on Hilaire, which, granted, I think Mahomes wanted him. It was a very late first pick. Well, it was 32nd pick, right? Or was it the 31st pick? Whichever.
It was 30.
30. Okay. So very late pick, but
right.
you don't spend a first round pick on a running back. I agree.
I mean,
with
I agree with that. I beat that drum from a long time. And in today's game, running backs are very replaceable unless it's just somebody who is like Christian McCaffrey or Derrick Henry. Running backs are very replaceable. So I agree. You don't spend a first
and here's the thing: we had Kelce, we had Hill, we had Mahomes. We didn't need a first round running back, first of all, and he hasn't even lived up to what we wanted, right? So that's a terrible. I mean, I wouldn't say terrible. It was not a good pick. I can't think of a first. Some of the steals he's had, I'll give him credit for, but I don't think he's been as good as it's been thought he is. I think people.
So
I think he's overrated.
The reason. He wasn't the GM at the time, but the reason why we drafted Patrick Mahomes is because of Brett Veach.
Yeah,
you know that, right?
I've heard that story. Yes, I've heard that story.
Okay, so that was a pretty good pick. I will say the Orlando Brown trade isn't exactly what we expected, and maybe we should have seen that because he's so big and he's more of a running. I don't know. I don't know. Everyone's saying he should be a right tackle.
On a side note here, Andy Reid had some say in this, right? Like, he had to have wanted Frank Clark, right? Like, that. Surely he's got more say than that. I mean, isn't it Andy Reid's team? He's always been involved in all of these moves.
I mean, I couldn't say that for certain. I think they have utmost faith in Brett Veach. I mean, I think Reid might say, I want this type of player, but I think Veach knows the type of players he wants, and then Veach goes and gets them. I mean, Creed Humphrey was a great draft pick. Trey Smith was a great draft pick. So Creed Humphrey was our first pick of this year, and it was a great draft pick. He's been one of the best linemen in the NFL this year, and he's a rookie. Trey Smith was a great draft pick. I mean, I think this team is as talented as a team as there is in the NFL. Most people expect them to be closer to 6-1 than 3-4 right now. You can criticize a few of Veach's moves, but I don't think Veach is the issue in Kansas City, if I'm being completely honest. To be honest, our issue right now is the uncharacteristic mistakes on offense that you can't really blame on anyone other than Patrick Mahomes making some stupid throws and Tyreek Hill dropping some passes. And I mean, those are just mental mistakes by the players. And I don't think anyone thinks we shouldn't have Patrick Mahomes or Tyreek Hill. And then our defensive line is terrible. And the Frank Clark deal was awful. And that has killed us because he's making $27 million this year. We actually have one of the highest paid defenses in the league, believe it or not. But our defense as a whole is making $57 million this year, and 27 of it's going to Frank Clark. So you can see why that deal has handcuffed us.
Yeah, 100%. That's the issue. But we lose to the Giants this week, if we don't get a win, the pitchforks, the torches, they're coming out, and these fans are going to want somebody. They're going to want a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, but you realize how stupid that is, right? I just got through telling you everything changed when Andy Reid came to Kansas City.
I'm not saying Andy Reid, but somebody's got to pay.
Yeah, if anything, it will be Spags, but I don't know. The Chiefs are going to lose to the Giants. It's not going to happen. We're going to beat the Giants.
I've heard that before.
Well, the games that we were for sure about, we have won. The games that were good teams that we thought we were going to win, we haven't won.
Oh man, look, and Eric the enemy right now. I don't think he's in the coaching conversation for any team at this point. Like I think his chances he should have left last year, because after this year, I don't think anybody's looking at him to be the head coach. He might be their quarterback coach or something, but probably not their head coach.
If I will be very upset if Brett Veach gets fired in Kansas City, I'll just tell you that. I don't think that's where this direction should go.
I don't think it's where it should go, but one more bad deal, another if this is a losing season, next year starts out bad. It might not end well for him.
Maybe not.
All right.
I don't think that's the right move.
Well, we've been talking about it. We got the Giants coming up this week. What's your thoughts on this game?
Giants are coming off of a surprisingly big win against the Panthers. They put it on pretty well. I would say the Giants are playing a little better right now than I would expect the Giants to play. Chiefs are playing a little worse than I would expect the Chiefs to play. So it's an intriguing matchup because of that. That being said, if we lose to the Giants, I will not be on this podcast next week. I'll just put it that way. And if I am on this podcast, I will sit silently during the Chiefs portion while Weaver sits there and has a monologue. So you guys might want to, put some earmuffs on or something. I might have to. I don't know.
You say they don't want to hear from me? They don't want our 4 listeners don't want to hear from me? My dad and my mom. I'm pretty sure they would have listened to me.
Yeah. I'm just messing with you, Weaver. Calm down, dude.
I know. I'm just.
I don't know. If we don't win this week, you already said it. Pitchforks will come out, the whole shebang. And if we do lose to the Giants and we start the season 3-5, I understand people's frustration. I understand people's frustration right now, but if we lose the Giants, it's going to take it to another level. You're right there.
Rightfully so, right? Rightfully so.
Yeah. This team is definitely underperforming, and the Giants would just compound that.
Yeah, yeah. We're talking about Daniel Jones here, okay? Daniel Jones, and granted, he had a good week last week.
He went to Duke. Duke quarterbacks are not supposed to succeed in the NFL.
But they are supposed to have Saquon back for this week. So, I think that would worry me previously, but honestly, Nick Bolton's shutting that down. So
the run defense has been surprisingly quite a bit better.
All of a sudden,
Bolton's been getting all these snaps.
We gave up our entire offense. But we can stop the run now, guys.
We still can't stop the pass, though. Tannehill threw the ball all over us. Our pass defense might be worse now.
Yeah,
we shut down Derrick. Who would have thought we'd shut down Derrick Henry and then get destroyed by the Titans? If you told me that 2 weeks ago, we shut down Derrick Henry, I'd be like, oh, Chiefs win by 2 touchdowns. It's over. Nope, we get destroyed.
That's wild. Makes absolutely no sense. Well, do you got a prediction for this week's score? I'm a little worried to predict these games now. Our predictions have been so bad this last couple weeks.
152-3, Chiefs win.
152-3. Oh man, honestly, I've lost a lot of faith in our offense at this point, and our defense still looks terrible.
I expect a Giants victory.
I expect it to be a 28-25 game, and we come out on top. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but it's a must. Every game now is a must win. One more.
On a serious note, I think it'll probably be 41-27. The offense has got to right the ship.
Hey, we've been close on scores until this week. This is not even remotely close.
Even with the offense before this week, when they had I don't even know what to say about the offense on the Titans game. But before this week, the offense has still scored, even with turning the ball over. So, I mean, I expect us to score some points against the Giants. I just don't expect us to stop anybody ever.
But
Daniel Jones might rush for 100 yards, maybe. I don't know.
might rush.
Might throw for 300 and rush for 100. I don't know. Saquon Barkley will have 2 passing touchdowns.
All right. Well, I think we're done talking about the Chiefs. I mean, honestly, I just
Thank goodness.
yeah, I don't think we can handle it any longer. We can talk about some other sports-related news. There's some pretty funny stuff out there. But let's do the beer review real quick. Is this our first Boulevard Beer we're doing on podcast?
We did the Oktoberfest on TikTok.
Okay. Yeah, I think it is. So
I think this is our first Boulevard
Yep.
Beer. I have on my Boulevard hat today.
So we've got their Space Camper Boulevard by Boulevard.
It's
Little
not
glare off
their
the can.
normal Space Camper. This is a different version of it. It's Delta Ray. It's a little heavier.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it's not. It's a little lighter actually. It's 4.4% alcohol. I thought this was the heavier one. So they made like 3 variants of the Space Camper. This one's supposed to be a hazy IPA, and it's only 4.4% alcohol, so it's pretty light.
So I don't know what's up with these space themed beers. We've done lately. I think we did 2 on TikTok and 1 on here that has the word space in it, so that's kind of funny. But I am starting to really dig these hazy IPAs. Like I'm starting to really.
I've been trying to tell you, dude.
I do not like. I'm not a big IPA fan, but man, the hazy IPAs are getting
They're my favorite.
really good. Yeah.
We need to do some City Barrel beers now if you like hazy IPAs.
Man.
They've got some good hazy IPAs.
Yeah, Boulevard, Space Camper, Delta Ray, hazy, some word I can't pronounce. Oh, Intergalactic. I can pronounce that.
Yeah, they just made it space themed.
Yeah, hazy Intergalactic IPA. I'm gonna give this like an 8.3. This is pretty solid.
So honestly, this is really weird because I was just telling you how hazy IPAs are my favorite. I like the regular Space Camper better.
Okay. Is it because
I
of
would give
4.4? It's only a 4.4 alcohol.
No, I just like the taste of the. Have you ever had a Space Camper? Well, we may have to do that just because you've never had it. It's pretty good. I would give this probably a 6.5. I don't know. It's okay. It's just not my favorite.
All right, 8.3 and 6.5 on the Boulevard Space Camper. All right, well, let's talk about some.
It was like 6.88 something. I don't know.
I want to bring up some things going on in the sports world right now. So I'm reading this. I found this John Boy's podcast or whatever tweeted this thing out. PETA's call to the bullpen rename outdated term arm barn. That's the topic of this thing. Okay, so
first of all, let's not gloss over this. Arm Barn is an awesome name. Come on.
Arm Barn is a great name, but I've got to read this out. As the World Series turns into a pitching duel, PETA is pitching a proposal to the baseball world. Strike out the word bullpen, which references the holding area where terrified bulls are kept before slaughter, in favor of a more modern, animal-friendly term. PETA's suggestion: the arm barn. I mean, come on. This whole article is crazy. I mean, they're talking about rodeos where gentle bulls are tormented into kicking and bucking. I mean, just.
I don't think anybody's gonna take this seriously. I don't know. Maybe somebody will.
We've taken it too far.
I got a good laugh. I got a good laugh out of it when I read it. Arm Barn is awesome, though. Let's be real. Arm Barn is cool.
I mean,
but if you're really offended by the word bullpen, then
yeah,
I don't know how to help you there.
I give them credit. I do give them credit for the name because Arm Barn is awesome. If they rolled that out, I don't think anybody would be mad about it just because it's so cool. I mean, maybe PETA needs a win, so maybe we just give them this one. But yeah, I mean. Is this where we're at? Like, is this really where we're at in the world right now?
I don't know. I don't. Whoever just
Okay,
I'm at a loss for words.
so have you heard about what's going on with the Cleveland Guardians? Okay, they'll be the Guardians next year, right? Have you heard what's going on?
No, I mean I knew they were
So
gonna be the Guardians, but what's
so
going on?
apparently there's a roller derby team in Cleveland that's already the Guardians. Okay?
So they're like
And
being sued.
they are now suing because they were only offered $10,000 for the name. And they are now suing Cleveland baseball team, I guess right now, over this name change. So
I would be willing to bet everything that they're suing them for that somebody verbally agreed that $10,000 was enough but didn't sign it, and they're like, "Wait, why'd you only agree to 10,000? They're a Major League Baseball
yeah.
team. We can get way more than that." And then they decided to sign. They're like,
So
"Oh, let's sue them for it."
so the story I heard was they hadn't posted on their website in like 3 years, and then once the Cleveland Indians announced that they were going to be the Guardians, they decided to make a post finally. So, which more about to them. I don't think you should take 10 grand. I really don't. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I mean, smart move for them, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, at least get some, you know, a new facility or something out of this deal. I can
Yeah.
see.
Even though they don't even still do roller derby, you can distribute the money amongst the people who still exist or whatever.
Maybe they can get it started back up again or something. Does it say that they're not doing it?
A roller derby team that has called itself the Cleveland Guardians since 2013. Been selling team merchandise since 2014. They might have a argument here, okay? I don't
So
actually see anything that says they haven't been active though.
yeah, I mean, from what I understand, they were still active, but I
Okay.
I think that yeah, they might as well just stick with the baseball team. I just tell them, you know, whatever your loss and move on and maybe do the pick a name thing all over again. Come up with a better name. I mean,
What they should do is they should be like all these beers and steer into the whole space theme and do Cleveland Guardians of the Galaxy and then get into Marvel. Tell
get
Marvel that they need to steal their
get
name real
get
quick.
some sponsorships from Disney and do the Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxy. I love it. That
that'd be way
that's
cooler than the
genius. Think
Guardians.
about
Yeah.
it. Think about
Yeah.
having Groot as the mascot running out on the field.
The
You know?
bobblehead nights would be wild, dude.
Yeah,
Like you have endless possibilities.
yeah. I mean, I think this could work both ways. Really, it's actually not a bad idea.
I'm just thinking here, just
One of your better ideas.
brainstorming.
I know. A couple weeks
I
ago.
don't know what that was supposed to mean. It sounds like you're saying I have bad ideas.
Oh well, maybe. Well, we won't go into that though. I do know a couple weeks ago you were talking about. We forgot to bring up. We were going to talk about the worst mascots that were out there. That was one of the topics we want to talk
Oh
about.
yeah.
And you know, these teams that are changing names and stuff, like at least come up with a better mascot.
Oh man, we've discussed this. Teams don't want to rebrand. Like the Indians basically want to still look like the Indians, except change to the Guardians. Dude, completely rebrand everything. Come out with something new and better. The
like
the old boring mascots.
out of the big three professional sports, what's probably the best mascot? I mean, I have one in mind, personally.
The best mascot? Are we talking mascot or jerseys right now?
Mascot. I'm not talking about the gear. I'm talking about the best mascot that you could brand. And I mean, just cool, different. I mean,
I like the Seattle Kraken.
good one. Yep. Kraken.
The new soccer.
Toronto Raptors is probably one of my
I
up
actually
there.
thought about the Raptors.
Yeah,
I thought
I mean,
about them.
that's a great mascot. I don't know where you come up with some of these crazy ideas, and a lot of them are really old. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But when you're going to come out with a new team, because I mean, if you think about it, like the better ones in the NFL are the expansion teams.
Yeah, and the Kraken are a brand new team.
They're a brand
The
new
Raptors
team.
Yeah, the Raptors
Yeah.
aren't that old.
So I think it has a lot to do with the newer teams, but
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't really care either way. Eventually, the Chiefs mascot probably won't be the Chiefs anymore. That's probably what's going to happen someday. But let's be real here. I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. why would anyone choose their team name to be the Indians over the Kraken? Like, or the Chiefs over the Kraken? Like, there's so many better opportunities out there. Like,
Well, again, I don't think when the 50 years ago, I don't think the Kraken
yeah,
would have made a lot of
right,
sense. I understand
right.
that,
I understand.
but
I
right
understand.
now, yes. Like, what is a Guardian? What is that? Their
What
name.
are they guarding?
What
Can somebody please explain to me what these Guardians are guarding?
it was like a statue or landmark or something that they're naming it after. I don't know. Did the football team decide on a name yet?
They actually sent out like 8 options here. Let me see what their finalists were.
Okay. And then while we're on the topic, if and when, more likely when, the Chiefs have to change their name, what would be a good name for Kansas City?
Well, alliteration is the way to go. Kansas City Kraken. No, I'm just kidding.
Honestly, it would be bad, especially because it would
I mean, I
be
like.
KCK. I mean, that'd be
Yeah,
kind of
that's pretty
cool.
cool. Um, I mean, honestly, I've created plenty of teams on video games. I usually end up going with like the Kings uh,
The
or
bringing back the old basketball team Kings would be cool. I mean,
yeah.
ideally we would get an NBA team, but I don't know if that's
But
ever
the
gonna
Kings are
happen.
already taken,
Yeah,
so we
yeah,
can
yeah. I
take.
know, yeah, but ideally, I like the idea of sticking with the royalty, the main honcho guy. Kansas City Royals, Chiefs, Kings.
Yeah, I like that idea.
But I don't know how many more. Where else are you gonna go? You're gonna go the Kansas City Presidents, like the Kansas City.
The Kansas City Monarchs. They
I
are
mean,
now a baseball team again. So okay, here's the potential team names. So I think what they did was they sent these 8 names out to their season ticket holders, and then they were going to narrow it down by 3 because the season ticket holders could vote or whatever. But I don't really know what the lottery were. But here's the 8 names: the Armada, the Washington Brigade, the Washington Commanders, the Washington Defenders, the Washington Presidents, the Washington Red Hogs, the Washington Red Wolves, and the Washington Football Team. Those are the 8
wow,
that they were
they
choosing
they
from. And
really
I
wanted.
believe I believe they narrowed it down to 3, but I don't know what the 3 are.
Okay, so if I had to pick from all of those, it would be Red Wolves for sure.
I knew you were gonna say Red Wolves.
Um, I mean, who wants the Washington Presidents coming out on the field? And here
What are they
come
gonna
your
have?
Washington Presidents. Like, what is that? Who's voting for that?
Oh my
That's horrible.
god. So would their mascot be George Washington?
Yeah, it would have to be something ridiculous like that. Like that would be your mascot. Your mascot is literally a guy dressed up like George. Maybe you just pick a different one every day. I think they just have to change out the mascot every week.
Red Hogs isn't that bad.
I mean, there's worse for sure. Presidents is much
Washington
worse.
Ar- Washington Armada? No. Washington Brigade? No. Washington Commanders? It's not the worst one on the list. Washington Defenders? I mean, I guess if you have a good defense and your offense is terrible, sure, but otherwise, no.
Okay. The
The
name's gonna get mocked
Presidents?
a
No.
lot.
Red Hogs, Red Wolves, and football team and Commanders. It's got to be one of those 4.
They
It
might,
can't be any other team.
they might as well just stick with football team because I just feel like this is gonna not end well.
I don't even think I think they're going to keep the exact same jerseys and everything. I don't think they're going to change anything about it.
I mean, I could definitely see like some cool designs with the Red Hogs, and which would just make it look like Arkansas, and then
Yeah.
Red Wolves. So I guess if you just want to be the Razorbacks, the Washington Razorbacks, just bring it on.
I think I agree. Red Wolves would be the best, and I think they should go red and gray, but they won't. But I think Red Wolves and have their colors be red and gray.
See,
I
that
think
would
that
be
would
the
be
smart
cool.
thing to do. Is to just change one of the colors a little bit. Change the secondary color, or something, so that the stadium and the fans they still got the same color, but you can make better jerseys and it would look a lot better.
Yep,
So
I agree. I mean, teams. Here's the thing: like the Falcons completely changed their jerseys. The Jaguars completely changed their jerseys. The Buccaneers completely changed their jerseys. The Patriots completely changed their jerseys. Jersey changes happen. So when you get a new team name, you should probably just go ahead and do your jersey change right then. Like,
Yeah, but I do question who is out there making these jerseys because some of them are disgusting.
yeah,
I mean, absolutely
yeah.
disgusting.
I mean, we agree on that.
I mean, are they not doing the color rush thing anymore? I mean, that was fun. That was good.
People hated it, dude. It
Uh,
had horrible feedback, and I'm not trying to offend people, but it's because of the 45, 50-year-old dudes who want to see the Cowboys star and the Chiefs red and white and the Packers with the G, and like they don't want anything new. They just want the
the color
traditional look.
the color rush was such a good idea and really mixed things up, and I just they need to bring that back. I mean, come
I
on.
agree. Although they are able to do it now. Since they made the rule about the helmets, they also made the rule you can have the jersey too. So you are able to do it, but they don't have Thursday Night Football as
Yeah.
color rush anymore.
Well, yeah, I think a part of that ended because of the red green issue with the. It was.
Well, that was just stupid.
It was the Jets. Who was the other team?
The Bills and the Jets played, and people who were colorblind couldn't tell a difference in
Yeah.
the two teams. Someone did not think that through very well.
I'm not laughing because it's it's terrible to laugh.
I'm laughing
I
because
guess.
somebody's
But-
stupid and didn't think of what was going on.
Oh,
like,
man.
how did you not think of that?
That's crazy. All right, well, you got anything else for us tonight?
Hopefully, we have more to talk about the Chiefs next week than sit here and pout about how terrible they are
Don't
and
hold
how
your
it
breath.
could get better.
Maybe
We just sit here every week talking about how it could get better and it never gets better.
maybe next week we just talk barbecue and beer. Like we just do like a whole 6-pack of reviews on the
That's what I'm
podcast.
saying. When we talk about the Chiefs, you just sit there and talk, and I'll just sit here and drink some beer, and then when we actually get to the beer and the barbecue part. Speaking of which, we need to go to some barbecue restaurants in Kansas City.
Yes.
I mean, we've already been to the major ones. We haven't talked about them on here, but we need to hit some hole in the wall ones.
Yes, we do. We're kind of lacking in the barbecue department right now. So you even what did we have last week when we were over? Oh, we had chili. That's right. It's not even wasn't even barbecue.
Yeah, we didn't even barbecue.
We should have done like brisket and threw it in the chili. That would have been good.
Yeah, the week before that we were at the game, so all I did was smash burgers.
Oh, yeah.
I've done a lot of pulled pork this year. Done some ribs. We did some wings that one week.
Yep, those were good.
Those were good.
Yep. So. All right, cool.
I do some wings again this weekend.
Well, catch us out on social media because we'll be posting more stuff on there. But until next week.
As always, don't stop smoking the meats.
The meats.